I don't care if it was Afrika Bambaataa, whoever it was, P. Diddy, whoever it is. You touch kids, you deserve to be fried in oil, just gasoline poured on you and lit on fire. How you feel about it? You the square. Let's keep her. All right, since you like interviewing me, let me interview you for a second. You a straight up
All right.
dude, right? You on the
Right.
sidewalk. You don't do nothing crooked. You a honorable citizen, correct?
Right.
Okay. How do you take it? Is he a rat, or is he, or he's just doing what he got to do?
I mean, when you preach about that life for so long, I mean, that becomes your identity. So yeah, I mean, that's definitely what happened,
You're a
you
rat.
know.
Okay, so we're all on the same page. There's no justifying it.
But I mean, I think where the conversation comes in is like some people believe that at a certain point you can graduate
You can change.
beyond.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Let since you're talking about that, there's growth. Okay. I'll take myself for instance. I'm not in the streets. I'm not running around. I'm not doing nothing, none of that stuff. You know what I mean? I work every day. I work very hard for my check, and I appreciate every dollar I get because I sweat for every dollar I get. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that my moral compass has changed. Just because I've changed from being a young, reckless individual that I didn't really think of the consequences to now I've matured. I value my freedom. I value my family. I value certain things in life. So I don't do things to jeopardize that freedom and lose anything that I've sweat and bled for. But it won't change my moral compass. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if I go on a drill with somebody, I gotta expect the consequences of what it is. I'm not gonna go and if we get caught, I gotta turn around and tell on him. No. We as men, if we make a decision to do something together, we gotta hold our water as men together. But that's why I don't put myself in those predicaments. If I gotta go somewhere with something, I'm not going.
All right. What about like your house gets robbed?
Oh, what about it?
And like, do you call the police and report that? Not
Well,
saying you
legally, if you have valuables and stuff like that, you have to make a police report for the insurance to come in. Now, it's different that if
you're
you
not
know,
pointing anybody out saying that
right,
this
but
person
if
did
you
it.
know who did it to you and you turn around and call the police, you are telling. You understand? You're basically telling. Now, if you're a civilian, if you're a regular person, me, I might, if I know who it is, I might crash out. 9 out of 10, I probably will crash out because I'm not going to allow you to disrespect me or, you know what I'm saying? But now, there's certain things that legally you have to do. You know what I'm saying? Like I have problems at the shop plenty of times that you have to get a police report. It's not means that you're telling them somebody breaks into a car there, does something. I legally for the insurance or something have to get a police report that somebody broke into the car. You understand what I'm saying? There's certain things that there's an accident. You get into an accident, you have to call the police so you could get the police report, so you could get the insurance information so you can make your claim when you go through it. So there's different, we're talking about different things. You're talking about just calling the cop, you're making like,
Okay, but what about certain situations where like people will feel like, are you on the Cameron level of like, yo, if I know so and so next door is doing this to kids, I might move or whatever, but I'm not telling the police, or if I see this lady get beat by this person and stuff, I'm not gonna do anything. I'm not gonna call the
look, the
cops.
funny thing is, look, one time we chilling and we see this dude beating the brakes off this chick. So we go and we get involved. Dude's getting hostile. We end up start beating it. Why the chick jump on us trying to beat us up and calls the police on us? And we helping her out. So when it comes to
Because
certain things,
it's a lover's quarrel. That's
when it comes
why.
to certain things, especially in New York, you mind your fucking business. You mind your business because sometimes you get involved to help somebody, and guess what? That person you helping turns on you, and you the one that gets on the end of the city stick. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta mind your
But
fucking.
kids though,
No, we're not
if you
talking
know
about
somebody
kids.
doing.
Nah, if somebody's doing something to some kid, I might go over there and put hands on the dude. That's one thing that I don't accept. I feel that peddlers and is and certain individuals, they should be the death penalty for them pieces of shit. They should be castrated and fucking thrown into the fucking acid
Yo, if
pit.
somebody does something to your kid
I'm
and
crashing
you
out.
kill
I'm
them,
crashing out. I'm
no,
crashing out.
but you know how there's been situations where like the father will
I'm
go
crashing
kill
out.
the
I'm crashing out.
person. I don't think that they should be prosecuted for that.
Of
I
course
think
not.
that they should be
It's technically it should technically be temporary insanity because if someone kills your child, there's no way for you
or
to
touches your child.
no, if you touch
Yeah.
my child and I know it was you,
Yeah.
I'm making a phone call and grabbing a couple of my close circles and we taking you out into the woods somewhere and you never coming back. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure I would do that for any one of my friends if you touching one of their daughters or something like that. That's something that you don't touch kids. Kids are sacred, bro. In this world, bro. And if you protect and condone and excuse and know a dude that's touching kids, you just as big a piece of shit as the dude that's touching the kids. Because there should never be any question. Kids are innocent. You understand what I'm saying? There's no justification. You know what I'm saying when it comes to a child. You know what I'm saying? I just that's the biggest thing. And anybody that I know or I deal with thinks that I'm wrong about that, I can't fuck with you. If you could justify that, I can't justify marrying 6-year-olds or dealing with 10-year-olds or 12-year-olds. Nah, there's no justification there. I just there's no. I can't. You know what I mean?
Right, right. So this is a great transition, right? I had Lush1 on my platform and he spoke about Afrika Bambaataa's death. He said rest in piss and that he would piss on his grave. He doesn't care what he contributed to hip hop. And he called KRS-One the worst hip hop legend ever, not only for defending Bam, but also over the years his discography hasn't been great. Man, roll a clip.
First of all, KRS-One is a bitch. KRS-One is a bitch, bro. You like rest in piss, Bambaataa. Rest in piss, Afrika Bambaataa. Piss on his grave. Let me find out where Afrika Bambaataa. Don't let me find out where Afrika Bambaataa's grave is at, because I will piss on that motherfucker. Because I don't give a fuck what you contributed to the music, ingenuity, to culture, whatever the fuck that is. You touched little boys. You're a child. You're a piece of shit. Sure, Planet Rock is a slapper. I don't give a fuck, bro. All that shit is out, bro. KRS defending that shit. Let's also talk about. Here's gonna piss off your whole channel right now. KRS-One is the worst legend in hip hop history. He gets by being a great stage performer and a commanding presence. But lyrically, he is below Slick Rick. He's below LL Cool J. He's below Rakim. He's below Big Daddy Kane. He's below Cool G-Rap. And I'm just talking about the dudes from his era.
What did you think about that?
I mean, I'm not gonna comment on KRS-One. I mean, with the Afrika Bambaataa thing, I think.
Wait, you're not going to comment on him defending KRS-One though?
What do you mean? You mean KRS-One defending Afrika Bambaataa?
Right, right. That's what I mean.
Okay. My whole point of view is Afrika Bambaataa was a legend to hip hop, but it doesn't really matter. You're a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit. If you were touching kids, if that's true, if it's true, which obviously he moved to Brazil to get away from whatever, no
And he didn't
extradition,
show up to the court and
never
everything.
all the different things, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, I don't care if it was Afrika Bambaataa, whoever it was, P. Diddy, whoever it is, you touch kids, you deserve to be fried in oil, just gasoline poured on you and lit on fire. If it is proved beyond a reasonable doubt that you did actually do this, there should be no excuse. No, you may not. You are a piece of shit. You have no place in society if you touch kids. You have no place in society.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't care who it is. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna get into the whole, like I made this statement before you even brought it up. If you condone or know about it, but the sick thing about it is that supposedly everybody knew that this dude, they used to bring him boys and stuff like that.
Right, but that's what I'm
You know
that's
what I mean?
another crazy thing, right? Is that people said they were like, Oh, we been knew about that.
So
So
whoever
you
said I've
been
been
knew
known
about
about it,
that.
whoever said that, people should slap the shit out of them. Because if
Right.
you've been known about it and you didn't address it, like, yo, I'm gonna keep it real. If one of my mans is doing that, or it's somebody that I know or I'm around, you think I'm not gonna check that? You think the people that I'm around is not gonna check that? We all got kids, bro. We all got kids, bro. Nah, bro. Nah, man. That's I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Afrika Bambaataa. I don't care who it is. And like I said, and if you condoned it, you a sucker too. You know what I mean? You should be lit on gasoline on you and lit on fire. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know the circumstances of his case. I don't know if he was 100% guilty. So I can't just blatantly say that. You know, Hassan came out and said it. And then again, you see him in a picture as a grown man with him. So you turn around and be like, yo, what's going on, bro? Did this guy really traumatize you? Are you what is that called? When you Stockholm syndrome, whatever it's called, with the abusers. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But if he was really doing that to you as a child and you had an opportunity to put hands and feet on him or do something to him, why you didn't react? That's the question. I'm like, you know, and I think that's again the problem that Mr. Keep It 100 and him have, that this guy's questioning why you didn't do this. If he did all this to you, why you took a picture with him, why you was around him, why did you go? You understand what I'm saying? Which is questions that you're like, hmm. So, you know, I just don't want to get into it too much with that whole thing because that's a touchy subject. You know what I mean? I can't, you know, if that really happened to him as a kid, you know,
Right.
that's fucked up thing. You know what I'm saying? As a kid, you know, you don't know why the reasoning is. So I can't, I'm not gonna judge and I'm not gonna say that. I'm just saying the person that did that to him should be lit on with gasoline and lit on fire, bro. In front of brought into the middle of a square, Times Square, gasoline poured on the nigga and lit on fire in front of everybody, live TV in order for everybody to see the shit. If you touch kids, that's
But
just
you know, Bam also said he didn't know Bee Stinger. Remember the other person that accused him? But I think he went back on his word
oh, and
and
then
took
they've
the
had footage or
accusation.
pictures or something of them that they've supposedly paid
Well,
him off or whatever.
Lord Jamar came out and said he knew he was lying when he recalled seeing Bee Stinger in the studio with him from back in the day.
Well, I'm pretty sure he kept lying to cover up. You know, when you lie to cover up a lie, that you got to say another lie to, and then you forget
Right.
the lies. I mean, if you're a piece of shit and he was doing that, you know, he's gonna keep saying, "No, I don't know that guy. I never even seen that guy. What are you talking about? I don't know nothing." Blah, blah, blah. But then you flee, you escape jurisdiction, you escape all that. It's like all these weirdo dudes that have all these weirdo cases that have money. You notice they all disappearing to Bali and different countries with non-extradition and all this Brazil and all these different things because they're scared to get prosecuted. You know what I mean? Didn't Steven Seagal jet to Russia when all the allegations came up and all that crazy shit came up with him? I don't know, bro. Like this world and this society is crazy. You know what's crazy? That in the US, you know, I think legal age of consent is what, 16 or 17?
Depends on the state.
Depends on the state. I know in some states it was legal to get married at a certain age. Bro, then you go to foreign countries and you see, like, we went to Colombia when we was on tour, and it was me, Paul, um, a couple of us was out there. My man from Crack Family in Colombia, and we all in the car, and the promoter is telling us, you know, oh, you know, whatever. He's telling us about the women in Colombia. So we go to eat at a spot and we see a dude must have been like in his 60s, older dude. And we see a young girl with him, like, you know, like 15, 16. We're not thinking about it. It looks like father and daughter or grandfather, daughter. You know what I mean? And we're like, all right, whatever. He's like, no, that's his wife. I'm like, what? He's like, that's his wife. I know him. Nah, you bullshitting. Oh, he goes up to the dude, says, what's up to him? But ma, how's your wife doing? How you feeling? Da, da, da. He's like, that's legal out here. I was like, what? He's like, some of the families are so poor that they sell their daughters to people with money for, you know, whatever, for property, for whatever they do. And it was like kind of normalized. Now is when they're making it an issue. They stopping like sex tourism and all that shit in Colombia because all these weirdos was going over there. But bro, at a point in time, it was looked at like normal. And I
Well, it's just like, remember in the South, it was more acceptable too,
right,
where like people were getting married
at
at such a young
14,
age.
13, right.
Right,
But now you see it, it's like that's what I'm saying. It's just like at what age does a person really have consent? Like you look at how can you give consent for an act like that? So that means you're an adult already, but you can't even buy a pack of cigarettes in the store. You can't even go and buy a beer, but you could give permission to have sex. Like like the way the laws are is like it's crazy. It's like also in certain states you could get a gun at 18, but you can't go and drink at 18. So you're responsible enough to be able to carry a firearm that could take somebody's life, but you can't go and purchase a beer. Like,
right.
you understand what I don't know, like, they put standards of responsibility, like,
Well,
18,
even
you're
going to
old.
war at 18
That's what I
too.
was about to bring
Yeah,
up. 18, you're old enough to get drafted to go give up your life, but you're not old enough to buy a pack of cigarettes. You're not old enough to go buy a drink at a bar. Like, so I'm old enough to go and risk my life for my country, but I'm not old enough to go purchase a beer. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, who makes the I don't know, bro. I don't even know how to explain it, bro. That when I start talking about that, I get frustrated because
right.
there's a lot of people that I truly love and have a lot of love for that have been sexually abused and have had traumas like that. So it kind of it kind of really like affects me because I'm like I get blind rage when we talk about children that get touched and things like that.
I agree with you too, because it's a life sentence
Yeah,
of trauma. When
for
you see what they endure and they go through, it's like it's very hard to
yeah.
overcome that, bro. Like,
'Cause
they get triggered
Yeah,
about
because a lot of these
things
kids
all the
that come
time.
from sexual abuse and things like that turn out to be like drug addicts and turn out to be like degenerates or extreme violent individuals because of the traumas they took as abused kids. You know what I'm saying? So, again, my stance on that, bro. Like I said, I can't judge him individually. Like say like 100%. I know, but if he was one of those, you know what I'm saying? I have no compassion in it. Whoever knew he was dealing with underage boys, if he was dealing with a legal age man and that's his choice, homie. That's their choice. You understand what I'm saying? Like
Absolutely.
if he's dealing with another man and that's what floats your boat, homie. All right, cool. That's what floats your boat. Doesn't mean that I gotta accept it or doesn't mean nothing. That's what you do. That's what you do. That's cool. But you're dealing with a kid that can't even make a decision for him, and you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. Come on, bro.
But some people are even weird. Like, they like it fresh too. Like, just turned 18. Like, it's just weird to me. Like, certain things that people are into. Like, I feel like you don't realize how sick some people are until you realize like their sexual like fantasies and
But
shit
that's
that
like,
they
for
they like.
instance, I got a daughter, right? You know how many times my daughter has sleepovers or had her friends over? I never, ever turned around and looked like, oh wow, or you understand what I'm saying? Like in my mind, I can never even date somebody that's my daughter's age or beyond my daughter's age because you
Right.
know what I'm saying. I come home with her, my daughter be like, "Yo, what are you doing?" You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Like, what's her name that she's dating, the NBA player that's the same age as her son, and they're on the same team
Oh,
together?
you talking about oh fuck.
You know what I'm talking about
Yeah,
though, right?
yeah, yeah,
Isn't
yeah.
that just so weird and sick to do to your kid
Wasn't it
though,
Michael
bro? Like,
Jordan's son and Scottie Pippen's wife, ex-wife?
yeah, that I mean that but they was like,
If that's
older though, but
but
yeah,
still,
still
bro,
weird,
like
still
it's
weird
like
situation.
I mean,
Or like, you remember that one Asian little girl that was crashing out on the internet, Lil TJ or whatever, what was her name?
I forgot her
Lil
name.
Tay, Lil
Lil
Tay.
Tay.
Yeah, she was crashing out and stuff. And as soon as she turned 18, right, she started a OnlyFans and like uploaded content. The overnight she became like a multi-millionaire or whatever.
But
It
that's
just
like
shows you how
what's
sick
the name?
people
The little
are.
Barbie. What's the name?
Bad baby?
Bad Baby.
Yeah.
Same situation. But then they turn around saying that there was mad rappers sleeping with her when she was underage and all that shit.
Yeah.
Some people are just weirdos, bro. Like I said, there's just weirdos, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got to be able to have a moral compass, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you have a kid, bro, You got to be able to the how can you expect somebody to teach you something if you're not doing it yourself? You know what I'm saying? Like you know, I
Mm.
just when it comes to shit like that, bro, I have no pity, no mercy, no compassion. Like I said, I go into a blind rage because I have a lot of loved ones that that were that was assaulted or touched as children, and it's like it's sad because you see the traumas that they go through as adults, you know what I'm
Yep.
saying? And it never goes away. And then the worst part of it is when they try to ask for help and the adults don't and the person don't believe it because they're so close to the person that's doing it to them, they don't believe it. And
Yeah,
they
because it's usually like a friend, a
or
babysitter,
family
or like a
member
family
or
member.
something, and they'll be
Yeah.
like, "No, no, no, that's not." And the person will be like, "No, that's not what happened. That's not what this," and they justify it. You know what I'm saying? And that I think is what holds a lot of these kids that really, really traumatize them. Like, my nephew, he's a psychologist, and he does, for abused kids and kids that come from that, and it's sad the stories of certain things. Obviously they don't get into telling you exact things of what goes on, but
Right, because of HIPAA. Yeah.
yeah, but all that stuff. But it is just like, yo, bro, you just can't wrap your head around the things that burning cigarettes on kids, putting out cigarettes on a kid, and you know what I mean. Like, you seen the thing with that dude that was they were all getting cracked out. I think it was in Florida somewhere, and the guy kept blowing crack in the dog's face, and the dog went crazy and bit one of the guys that. It was like three of them getting high in the living room. His daughter was in the his daughter was in the my dog almost knocked down the whole camera. His daughter was in the room and they was all smoking meth or crack in the living room and they was blowing crack into the dog's face. And the girl that was with them went to pet the dog spazzed out, bit half her ear off, bit her nose off.
Oh my
And
God.
then they trying to run. So the daughter comes out of the room and tries to calm the dog down, but the dog is cracked out. So the dog fucking bit her face. They had to call the cops.
Oh
And all this
shit.
shit is because the father was in the living room smoking crack, blowing crack into the dog's fucking face. And fucking now that you understand what I'm saying? Like, yo, bro,
Right,
it's
right.
individuals like this, bro, is like,
Yeah.
where is your like I just don't get it, bro. Like I just don't get it, bro. The way shit is, and you can't even say it's this society because most of those dudes is like our age or is older. Is just like fucking crazy, bro. The way fucking the world is today, it,
Absolutely.
it makes you
Yeah.
think. If I had a choice, would I bring a child into this world
Yeah.
knowing what's going to happen and not knowing what's going to happen in 10 years from now? If
And there's not really hope that it's gonna get better
Uh,
necessarily.
because everybody's bro, the shit is getting crazier and crazier and crazier. Like it's like I don't know, bro. I don't know. Let's get off this kitty thing,
Yeah.
bro. This
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
puts me
yeah.
into a dark place that I just can't even focus anymore.
I feel you. I feel you.
you know?
Yeah.